Mary, and I am the president of Missoula Community Concert Band. I wanted to start tonight's program off with acknowledgments and thank yous. Putting together a concert like this, I've learned by being the president, it takes a lot of people, not just me. So first I'd like to acknowledge our board. They're just going to acknowledge with a little wave. We've got Amanda Tisch, our treasurer. Reggie Schmidt, our secretary. Our member representatives, John Combs, Gloria Handel, Lisa Davey, who wasn't with us tonight, and our past president, Brad Ellison. I want to thank our librarian, Don Gisselbeck. Tiana Grise, who has been managing our new and improved social media accounts. Follow us on Facebook. Rob Ball for helping me with the technology to get our web presence back reestablished. And then thanks to Don Armio, our conductor, who is also taking care of designing our advertising and contact media. And to Diane Threlkill for creating our program that's in your hands. Big thank you to our percussion section. Thank you to our percussion section and various other members who showed up early this afternoon to move all of the percussion equipment and all of the music stands over here from town. Shout out and thank you to Lewis Nelson and Sentinel High School for allowing us to use this band room, and to Jesse Docknall at Hellgate for lending us his Tiffany for tonight. Thank you for MCAT for recording, and to MCT for letting us play in this fabulous venue. We would like you to join us in the lobby afterwards for cookies. There's a large tuba case out there available for any donations. We take cash check in the tuba case. And if you'd like to donate with a credit card this year, there are QR codes in your program and posted out at the tuba case and on the door. So you're welcome to use your credit. All right, we're going to have a special guest this evening. I'd like to introduce our special guest. I've known this man for nearly 40 years. Besides being one of my first trumpet teachers, he was one of the original founders of this band in 1992 and conducted the band for 8 years. He's retired director of bands and former music department chair at the University of Montana, and currently a host of morning classics on Montana Public Radio. Please welcome to the stage our master of ceremonies for tonight, Dr. Tom Cook.
Thank you, Tracy, for that very kind introduction, and good evening, everyone. Welcome to the fall concert of the Missoula Community Concert Band, conducted tonight by Don Aramillo. For this concert, Mr. Aramillo has selected music which I'm sure you'll find both entertaining and inspirational. In a moment, I'll ask you to join me in welcoming our conductor to the stage, but first, a few words of introduction. Although there is more information contained in your printed program, allow me to tell you a bit about Don and his storied career. After completing a remarkably successful tenure as director of bands at Etiwanda High School in Rancho Cucamonga, California, Don and his wife Shannon moved here to Missoula. California's loss has definitely been Montana's gain. Since moving here, Don's become involved in several Missoula community activities, performing with this band when not conducting it, playing with the Zootown Trumpets and the Missoula City Band, and even playing taps for the local host of the VFW. Currently, he also conducts the Garden City Strings, another one of our many community organizations in Missoula. We are so fortunate to have him on the podium for tonight's concert. So please welcome Don Aramillo. And so we begin tonight's concert with a piece titled Let Freedom Ring. In writing about the music we're going to hear, composer Brian Nolan writes that he was inspired by the lyrics, "Land Where My Fathers Died," from the well-known America which begins with My Country 'Tis of Thee. Prior to the 1931 designation of the Star-Spangled Banner as the official national anthem, America was among the many popular hymns that served as de facto anthems for the United States. Based on America and other patriotic music, here is Let Freedom Ring by Ryan Nolan. again, that was Let Freedom Ring by Ryan Dolan. In a moment, I'm going to ask those of you who are veterans to stand and be honored by our applause. But once our veterans have been recognized tonight, let's all stand and join our veterans for the playing of the Star-Spangled Banner. An arrangement, by the way, by Brian Balmages. First, let's recognize our veterans. Please stand if you are a veteran. As the band plays the Star-Spangled Banner. The pavane is one of Morton Gould's most often performed and recorded works, and fragments of this piece we're about to hear may sound familiar. Originally written for dance band in 1938, Morton Gould arranged it for orchestra about 3 years later. But it wasn't until 1961 that he created a setting for concert band, which we'll hear in a moment. This music is bound to be familiar to many, as phrases of it were later worked into such jazz pieces as John Coltrane's Impressions, Dizzy Gillespie's Bebop and April V, and Wes Montgomery in Memoriam by David Baker. It may be relatively unknown to younger members of tonight's audience, but all will certainly enjoy the performance of Pavane by American composer Morton Gould. The fourth work on tonight's program is another arrangement for concert band, this time by James Purno, an American composer and arranger who's written numerous works for concert bands and brass bands, along with music for vocal and instrumental soloists and ensembles. In a moment, we'll hear his arrangement of The Promise of Living, taken from American Aaron Copland's only full-length opera, The Tender Land. Composed by Copland in 1954, The Promise of Living is heard at the end of the first act in celebration of the harvest and its traditions. Even without voices, use of the folk hymn Zion's Walls and Copland's transparent scoring combined with Purno's skilled arranging to create a clear, dramatic effect as portrayed by the concert band. Let's enjoy now the performance by the Missoula Community Concert Band of music by Aaron Copland. Here is The Promise of Living. From hearing two outstanding arrangements for concert band, we move next to a piece originally composed for the wind band medium, and one which has become part of the band's foundational repertoire. Composed by Howard Hanson, the very same year as Copeland created the music we just heard, Chorale and Alleluia was given its premiere by the U.S. Marine Band at a convention of the American Bandmasters Association. The piece presents some stark challenges for the performers and conductor, but in the end is well worth the musical and technical efforts. This, too, is music by an American who, in this instance, served the famed Eastman School of Music at the University of Rochester as its director for some 40 years. This is Chorale and Alleluia by Howard Hanson. to remember will recall the popular recording of pianist Roger Williams of a piece titled Autumn Leaves. That recording remains to this day as the only piano instrumental to ever reach #1 on Billboard's popular music chart. It sold over 2 million copies, a huge number for the time, and was awarded a gold disc. This classic band arrangement by Alfred Reed showcases the rich harmonic language that underlies that famous melody with Reed's masterful, thick, and sonorous orchestration. Although most of our leaves have fallen for the season, you can think of this lovely rendition as those remaining continue to fall. Here is Autumn Leaves by Joseph Kosma. Concert Band has shared music from many films and Broadway musicals, and tonight is no exception. This time, our conductor, Don Jaramillo, has chosen another Alfred Reed arrangement of music from the 1964 movie Mary Poppins to share with us. The musically rich motion picture starring Julie Andrews and Dick Van Dyke includes some 17 original songs, including Feed the Birds, A Spoonful of Sugar, and Chim Chim Cheree, among others. The musical score won 2 Grammy and 2 Academy Awards. It's absolutely delightful music, and we know you'll enjoy this rendition of music from Mary Poppins by Robert M. and Robert B. Sherman. The band's next piece is a marvelous work that serves as a moving tribute to an earlier time when our rivers and other waterways were the lifelines of a growing nation. Featuring such familiar melodies as Down the River, Shenandoah, the Glendyburk, and a delightful Creole Bambula tune, this is American River Songs by an American composer of French-Canadian descent, Pierre Laplante. American River Songs.
Before the band's final piece tonight, let's thank Don Aramillo.
Yes.
And let's thank the members of the Missoula Community Concert Band. What a tremendous resource this is for the Missoula community. We should have every seat full for the spring concert. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors what a great concert this was, what they missed, and they should be here for the spring concert to hear this wonderful ensemble. And before I go, I'd like to invite you to join me Thursday and Friday mornings for Morning Classics on the Montana Public Radio Network. We're at 89.1 and 91.5 FM in Missoula, and we can be heard on any of our 15 stations, blanketing western and central Montana. You can also hear a live stream at mtpr.org. Now that said, it's time for a lively march to send us on our way. And it's not just any march. In fact, it's music by the March King, John Philip Sousa, and it's attributed to inspiration derived from a young woman who Sousa saw working at the annual Boston Food Fair, but whom Sousa never met. Here is The Fairest of the Fair by John Philip Sousa.